I got a 2000 Ford Excursion with a 7.3, and I got a 8-inch Pro Comp lift and some 30-inch Nito mud grapplers on there. And I installed some Pro Comp ladder bars, which isn't too hard as long as you got the right tools. The hardest part is in the back here, is getting these leaf spring bolts off. I soaked mine with PB Blast for a couple days, and then I took a half-inch ratchet with about a 2-foot piece of steel pipe on the end, and I broke them loose. You're gonna need that to get them loose, because the impact gun wouldn't break mine loose. But it's not too hard once you get them broke loose. And what I did was I jacked the vehicle completely off the ground, and I took some jack stands and put them from the ground up to this. On mine, I got a trailer hitch, and jacked it up and put jack stand on this side and on the other side, where you could have the rear completely off the ground and take both wheels off. You got to take both rims off, and then I start on one side, and I start like on this side. I broke all the leaf spring bolts loose, and then I lowered this axle down. This axle side here, I lowered it. I had a floor jack, and I lowered it down just a couple inches, just enough to get this piece of 1/4-inch steel under that block. And then I just lined there's a pin on this block on the bottom. You just line that pin up, and it goes through this metal bracket into this other bracket under here where your block sits on top of your leaf spring. And once you get that on there, you jack this rear end back up. And once you get it up just snug, put your leaf spring bolts back on there, and you snug them up, and just make sure this bracket is in this block or line up in the holes. And once they're in the holes, then you can take a bar and tighten the leaf springs back up. And then once you get that done, you go to this other side over here and do the same process. And then after you got that done, got the leaf spring back on there in the block, and the bracket for the ladder bars underneath that block, and get it tightened down. Then you just move up front here, and you just take the ladder bar after you got it mounted that block to the bracket. Then you just come up here and mount this, put this bolt through this bracket here and just hold it up. And what I did is marked around this bracket where it was, and then I take this bolt out and mark this hole. Yeah, there's one hole there. There's 3 bolts. That bolt, and then you mark that bolt, and you just take a center punch and punch a hole, and then drill a hole in there. I'm not sure exactly what size, but I think it might be a 1/2-inch hole. And then all you do is put the bolt through and get this bracket all tightened down. Then just push the ladder bar back up and put this bolt in there, and then just tighten that bolt up. And the same would be on this side too. Do the same process. Just on this side, you got to watch out for lines that come through the frame. You don't want to punch a hole through these brake lines and fuel lines here. So on the driver's side, I would watch out for that. But on the passenger side, there's nothing in your way. So I think it took me like
3 or 4 hours, probably about 4 hours to put them on. well, maybe not that long, maybe 3 hours. But the hardest part is getting them bolts broke loose on top of the leaf springs. I would lube them down real well, and maybe you can put a little heat on there, and just take a breaker bar with a 2-foot ball with a 2-foot piece of pipe and just break them loose. That's the hardest part. And then they make a big difference, especially when you take off and launch. You don't your leaf spring doesn't have that wrap anymore, where your rear end wraps up. But that's about it. And you could do it in your driveway or in a garage. I wouldn't advise doing it in the dirt. I guess you could do it in the dirt, but if you had an asphalt driveway or a concrete pad, that'd be your best. But hope that might give you a little help. And that's it. See you later.